Good morning, my yarny friends. This is Jeannie T with All About Yarn, Knit, and Crochet. And today I'm going to show you how to make Xs and Os. And what it is, I was watching Gary from Urban Yarns. Sorry, I need my tea this morning. He was showing everyone how to crochet X's, and they were pretty neat. They're not the crisscross double crochet. They are taller X's. I'll put my glasses on. They look like this. And I'm making X's and O's. So there's X and O's. X, O's. Now when he was showing how to create the X's, he was making them one X after the other. There was no O's. So with Fiber Floozy, I am making a springtime project, and I am just making up a top. And this is, there's no pattern. I'm making it up free skilled. I'm just going to make it and fit it to my size. So this is the neckline, what I have done so far. And I'm going to show you how I'm making these X's and O's. That's what I call it, X's and O's. Something I just thought of. You know, I have grandchildren, they love playing X's and O's. But no, Gary from Urban Yarns taught us how to make these X's. And what I'm using is my Cambridge mill-ins, because there are beautiful colors. They make a lot of Burnett and Red Heart and lots of other fibers they supply. They supply giant tigers across Canada, and well, that's the only store I know of, but I know there's a lot more than Giant Tiger who they supply. So I'll be back in one moment. I need to make my tea and I will return. Okay, I am back. So yes, the other day I said I'm using Caron's Simply Soft, which I am. I got this one from Mary Maxim, and I had its two other skeins of it without the bands that I got from Cambridge Fibers. But I stocked up earlier in the year with Cambridge, but I ordered several mystery bags that came. I think Cambridge Fibers as well supplies Mary Maxim, because when you order their mill-ins, the bags have Cambridge on them. It's Cambridge Fibers. And you don't know what you're going to be getting. That's what these are. They're from Cambridge Fibers, and they didn't come in the 1-pound bags from Mary Maxim, because I did order a great big box from them. So in Canada, Cambridge delivered a large box of mill-in, or it's a mystery box I called it, of mill-ins. You get to pick if you want 3s. I think it's 4s. I ordered 4s. I'm not sure if they were stuck on 4s or if they offer 3s as well. I don't remember. It's been 3/4 of a year ago. But anyways, Carrie works at Cambridge Fibers, so if you want a giant box of yarn delivered to your door for approximately, give or take, $80. Okay? And you'll get enough to make things. It's not going to be all one color. They're all different, and there was variegated, like Red Hearts. Beautiful yarns. Burnett's. Yeah, and Caron. And there was some other yarns I had no idea what they were. But anyways, I said we're going to make some X's and O's. I put a stitch marker in where I leave off if I'm going to be moving my work around, so my work doesn't pull apart on me. Fix my holder here. And I got my tea. Watch I don't spill it on my crocheting. First sip of the day. Almost like Nescafe in your cup. Oh, that's an old one. Okay, I've been worried about my voice a lot because before I began chemo, I had just a couple of years back, my voice was so much younger and stronger, and it's like I aged 20, 30 years during that time. It just dehydrated me, so that's why I was concerned over my voice a lot. I'm still getting used to it. But it's getting stronger for the video. At least I'm not going all the time now. Okay, so to make the X's, we wrap the yarn around the needle twice, around the hook. And this one is on this stitch. I wonder if I can get closer. And then I'm going to skip 2 stitches to make enough room for an O. And I'm going to go into the third one. I'm just waking up here. Pull a loop through. Pull through the first 2. Yarn over. Skip a stitch. Pull a loop up through. And then go through every set of 2 stitches. And chain 1 at the top. Yarn over. And then see now there's 3 arms to the X made. We need 1 more. So we're going to put yarn over and we're going to go to the center of the X, and where these 2 bottom legs are, we're going to go through the 1 stitch each for 2 of them together of the top stitch on each leg. See that? Grab the yarn, pull it through. And then finish it like a regular crochet, and there's your X. Pretty simple. And then I'm going to chain 2 because I want room for the O's. So I just created another O and an X. See that XOX? That's on the outside of the band of my sleeve because this is the neckline. So I'll just keep on crocheting, and if you want to rewind, you can. So I'm going to skip 2. We'll just crochet and chat. I'm only going to hook that once to start it, and then I'm going to skip 1 and go into the next bottom one. Then finish it off 2 at a time. Whoops. Chain 1, yarn over, go through 1 loop at the top of the legs at the center of the X. I'm going to chain 2 to help create my O. So that chain 2 made like half an O. See, I have an X and an O. How cool. Makes me think of that song. Oops, not doing the back stitch. I need more caffeine. Yes, the chemo did totally save my life, but I have some stiffness. It's like stiffness in my speech. It's hard sometimes talking. And where I've been living alone, I haven't been able to exercise my voice, so I find this is actually helping me. It's almost like therapy for talking. I don't even have a cat anymore. This pet policy came out, and for those of us who had pets, once our pets were gone, we weren't allowed to get any more because other people didn't look after them. And I had my pet forever. She was like 14 when she passed, and she was such a good girl. She would never pull her nails into big rugs. I had a little mat just for her, and she would stretch her nails into that little mat. And she would never go on the counter. I put her on the harness to take her outside, and we go for walks. Me and her, we went for walks together with the leash. And everybody looked forward to seeing her. Whoops. I'm talking so much that I almost forgot to do the center of my X. Sidetracked. There we go. So before, many years ago, when I was a child, I learned how to knit, and then when I was a teenager, I learned how to, well, actually before I was a teenager, I learned how to crochet. Did I do 3 or just 2 on that one? Yeah, I guess I get sidetracked sometimes when I'm talking. And the fact that I never got to wake up yet, I guess. Crocheting on the brain here. I learned how to knit and crochet at a very young age, and then we started to move around, and I sort of forgot about it, and I'd done other things like rug hooking and macrame when I was young. And anyways, I started maturing, and then later I got married. I never done anymore. I was always raising a family and working and going to school and taking courses, and lived a very fruitful life. But I had dropped my knitting and crocheting because it took a lot of time to do those, and I was such a busy person. So, whoops, Jeannie, I'm talking too much. So anyways, when I got ill with cancer, it was in my bowels, actually. They took 4 pieces out. I'm so lucky to be here. The chemo was hard on me, and I went down to skin and bones. I almost died maybe 3 times, but if you have to do chemo, everybody takes it differently. It's just that I had a lot going on with me, and I needed a super big dose of it. So, oh my goodness, I never talked so much and crocheted that I'm jumping ahead on my step. So I keep taking one chain off to go back to my X. But don't worry, I always notice it's not an X because I can't continue without it being an X. Yes, they took a giant tumor out of me and cancer, and I had holes, and there was a mess all through me. So I was on chemo for months and months, and I was a strong person. I made it. Some people didn't make it, but I made it, and I am so blessed to be here. So I have some nerve damage in my hands. I do crochet faster now, but where I have the nerve damage in my hands, I can't use a fine baby yarn. I can use fine wool because the wool is a bit harder and rougher, just enough that I can manage it. But the baby yarn is too soft for like a fingering weight. I can't feel it with my fingers. So I gave away 30 skeins of baby yarn 2 or 3 weeks back. Yes, I started off with the bigger yarns. I picked up my hook and my knitting needles. I started off with the bigger yarns, with the chunkies, and I got back into knitting and crocheting, and then I went on YouTube. Like, I didn't even know all this stuff was on YouTube at the time. I just wanted to do something because I was very limited to doing anything anymore. All I can do is walk a bit. But anyways, I'm just about at the end. And I'm going to turn my camera off because if I'm talking, I need to do some brain work here for measuring it where it's not a written pattern. So yes, I got back into knitting and crocheting last year, and I seen all this stuff on YouTube, and I met some new friends. So I did know how to do it like all my life. It's just I never had a chance to do any of this stuff for, I don't know, 20, 30 years or something. A long time. I never had a chance to get back at it. But I've known how to do it since I was really young. And it's so nice to see I can order bulk amounts of yarn, which I didn't know about when I was young. And all these tutorials and friends and YouTubers. Oh, feels like I'm in heaven. In a way, a yarny heaven. So yes, this here I have to crochet some doubles around. And this I'm going to make it come down. And then I'm going to figure out what to do from there, because like I said, I'm just, okay, this is going to be the inside of the neck, the outside towards the shoulder, and that's how it's turning out. So I have the sage greens and it's like a sunflower yellow, I guess. I don't know if I should incorporate these somewhere. If you have any ideas, you can let me know. I have to fit the body on somehow. I need to connect a bit of a shoulder or from my halfways or third ways down from my shoulder coming down. I need to start a body. So I am thinking of those stitches that umbrellas out, and then I'll go into some straighter stitches. These are nice too, going across like that. Yeah, that way or that way. Oh, that's an idea. Anyways, that's all for now. If you have any ideas, please leave me a comment, like, and subscribe. It will help me out, and I'll catch you all later. Happy yarning!